Hey everyone, welcome back. So my client has come back for a redesign on her nails. So I have already removed all of the old design, well, as much as I possibly could with my e-file. And now I've done all my prep work as well. So I've pushed back the cuticles, I've dehydrated, I've thoroughly cleaned. And then I was adding 1 coat of CJP Acid Bond Primer. And now I'm going in with CJP Crystal Glass and their size 12 brush, and I'm going to just infill that new growth with clear acrylic. And this is to protect the nail plate and gives me something to file back down to when we do a new design. The colours that I'm using today are from Glam and Glits, and I will leave the link on where I purchased mine in the description box. This colour that I'm using is Ruby Red. It is a really lovely metallic-y kind of rustic red, really beautiful colour. And I'm just placing this at the cuticle area and working it down the nail. I'm keeping my layers super thin. I don't want to add any bulk or any structure with this. This is just purely for design. I'm now going in with Hazel, which is like a gold kind of metallic-y colour. It's like a copper metallic. It's really stunning. And I'm just putting a little strip of that across the nail. And then I'm going to go in with Cleopatra, which is a kind of oldie gold glitter from Glam and Glitz. And these are already pre-mixed, but instead of taking like a big chunk, I'm literally just dabbing my wet brush in there. And then the larger chunks of glitter that I'm using here are from A Night in Paris, which is also a Glam and Glitz glitter mix acrylic. But again, I'm just using these in tiny little beads with my wet brush rather than picking up a big chunk of acrylic. So on the ring finger, I'm going to go ahead and create a nail bed. So the colour that I'm using today is Perfect Peach from CJP, and this is just a stunning nude. The colour is gorgeous, like a coffee toffee. It's just beautiful. So I'm just going to try and get that as neat as I can around the cuticle area, and because it is really highly pigmented, it is a little bit more tricky to get nice and flush. So I will go ahead and tidy up that area, but not to panic because you can always use your file and file it nice and flush. I'm tilting the finger downwards and letting the product move with gravity to get that nice kind of teardrop smile line shape. And then I'm just kind of swiping my brush into it to perfect it a little bit more, but I'm not overly worried or overworking it because I'm going to go ahead and file this crisp anyway. So once I'm happy with where that is placed, I will then move on to the next finger. So this is Cleopatra, and I'm just going to place this at the cuticle area, filling in that gap and then just blending it down. I'm actually going to leave the previous colour at the tip of this nail just because I think it really went well with the set. And then again, I'm just going to take A Night in Paris and put that over the nail. So on the index finger, I'm going to go ahead and do a marble with all of the colours except A Night in Paris. So I'm going in and just placing a small bead of Hazel on the nail, placing a little bit more of Ruby Red, placing a little bit of Cleopatra, and kind of blending them in together and swirling them in together. I'm not using these overly wet, and I'm not using them like with big beads either because I don't want to end up with just a real big slop on the nail. So I'm trying to keep it as neat as I can whilst creating a really nice looking marble. So I'll just keep adding colours where I see fit. And on the thumb, I'm just going to create another nail bed with Perfect Peach. I do have a dedicated video on how to create smile lines, so if you haven't already watched that, please go ahead and check that out. So now I'm going to go back and file the nail bed on the ring finger nice and crisp, tilting my file right up against that smile line, making sure I'm getting it nice and crisp and flush all the way around, and that my wall is nice and high and consistent from sidewall to sidewall. I'm then going to dust completely all of the dust that is on the nail, and then I'm going to go in with ruby red and place this at the tip, making sure that I'm pushing that right up into them wings, trying not to get any on the skin, but it is so difficult trying to get it up in them wings without touching any of the skin. But if you do get it on your clients, make sure you remove it as quick as you can. So here my brush doesn't want to get it off, so I just went in with my finger and pulled it off and away from that sidewall area. I'm then going to go back and cap all the rest of the nails to protect the design we've just worked hard to create. So I'm using small beads here. I did have to use a couple of beads on a couple of the nails because the beads were a little bit too small. But if you do feel you need more product, just go ahead and add that. Less is always more. Then we're going to go back and do the same process that we did on the ring finger on the thumb, except the free edge is going to be in Hazel. Make sure you get rid of all that dirt and dust and debris from the acrylic you filed. You don't want to be leaving any of that on when you apply any fresh acrylic. So again, the same rules apply. Make sure that you're getting it right into them wings. And I will just apply a wash of crystal glass acrylic over these two on the ring finger and the thumb, just to kind of give it a little bit of strength, because when I do filing on redesigns, I like to put my file underneath and file away from underneath, and I just don't feel confident with these Glam and Glitz powders being full on strength. That's just my preference. I know some you can use as strength and some you're advised not to, but I just like to have them over or under a clear base. So then off film, I went ahead, filed, shaped and buffed all of the nails. I've cleaned away all of the dust because you don't want any of that in your top coat. And now I'm going in with CJP tack-free top gloss, and I'm applying a nice amount of this onto all of the nails, making sure that I'm also capping the free edge. I will then cure this in my Sun 3 lamp for 60 seconds and give it a nice full cure. And when my client comes out of the lamp, I will allow that to cool for a minute just before I go in and apply some cuticle oil, because I don't want to dull any of the shine from the top coat. And then that will be the finished set of nails. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I love this set for autumn. Let me know what you think to them in the comments. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please do. I would love it if you would. And if you could give this video a thumbs up, that would be awesome too. I love you all, and I will see you all again in the next one. Bye.